What's happening? How's everybody doing out there in YouTube Landia, man? What's cracking in YouTube Landia? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, support the channel. We about to go on Jimmy Kimmel, man. Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, man. That dude, wild, man. He's a wild guy, man. He's a wild guy, man. Jesus Christ. We about to go in, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Support the channel. What a day, man. What a 4 days, man. So we had finally got rid of Jimmy, man. Playing with my emotions, man. Shit. Jimmy, man. Jimmy's back. And he was annoying. Oh my God. One thing I will say about liberals is they keep the main thing the main thing. It's FU 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. If you're a conservative. FU. That's the message from liberals. All day long. Salute to Bam Bam. Salute to nothing but a hound dog. Edwin Kelly. Found treasures. Dread Assembly. Yeah, man. It's FU 20. I mean, all day long. If you are a conservative, all day long, everybody hit that like button as you come in, man. We going in on Jimmy Kimmel right now, man. We about to blam Jimmy Kimmel, man. What he did last night was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Distasteful. Yeah, he's repugnant. He's a repugnant troll, man. But I will say this. They won. He didn't give a quarter. Jimmy Kimmel didn't give a quarter. Okay? He didn't retreat one bit. He went on the offensive. And he resonated with liberals, man. Liberals are gonna watch his show just because. I mean, he went on the attack last night. So it's like liberals love that. You know what I mean? They love being on attack. They love attacking their enemies. So they don't, you know what I'm saying? They not trying to see both sides. They're not gonna apologize. And it's commendable if you look at it. If you really look at it, man, it is commendable, man. Like they know how to play this game. They just ran a terrible candidate against Donald Trump. They keep running. They don't have a good candidate. If they have a decent candidate, they'll beat us. Because we suck. Conservatives suck. They just have terrible candidates. I mean, look, even Biden, he won, but he's awful. Hillary, awful. They don't have a shout out to Laughing Dog, man. I watched Kimmel's show probably a couple times on accident, but only snippets of it. I've never watched his whole show. You know, like you're somewhere and it's on, you're just watching it because it's on. But I've never turned on, let me see, let me watch Jimmy Kimmel show tonight. Nah, never. The last late night show I watched on purpose was Arsenio Hall, man. Ooh. That's the last show I watched on purpose. Late night show. Everybody hit the like button, man. Be in here, man. Early morning stream, man. Sorry I couldn't. Shout out to Jacqueline, man. Jacqueline. Salute to Jacqueline, man. Appreciate you, Jacqueline. We're gonna have a great show, man. I'm gonna entertain you guys until I gotta pick up my daughter. Then I'm gonna have to come back later on. But yeah, shout out Jacqueline. This Jimmy Kimmel thing. I wish I had the. I don't know if I can play the. I might have to get the transcript of his monologue because this one says Rob Schneider says, "Dear Jimmy, in your semi-apology tonight, you lied again. You were not making light of Mr. Kirk's death. The suspension you justly received last week was for falsely accusing MAGA Republicans one of their own. You said for the murder of our friend Charlie Kirk, when it was in fact just another in a long line of murderous leftist lunatics who killed Charlie, who get their inspiration to kill from your dangerous leftist rhetoric. You and your other late night host and the other liberal media's constant propagandizing and demonizing fellow Americans as fascists and Nazis have created the atmosphere where leftists feel that killing people who think differently is justified. And you were not even telling it in the form of a joke either, you liar. Even your own ABC affiliates are bored and sickened by your constant political indoctrination by comedic imposition and refuse to air your show. Free speech is indeed all speech. We must even protect the speech that we loathe. Well, most Americans are decent, God-fearing people, and we loathe your speech, but we'll continue to support your right to speak it freely. But we don't have to watch it, and we won't. Damn. Rob Schneider got in Jimmy Kimmel's hand. Rob Schneider got in Jimmy Kimmel's buttocks. Damn, Rob. Shout out to Nothing But a Hound Dog. Say you love him on the show. Good morning, Miss Berry. Damn. Rob Schneider got in Jimmy Kimmel's buttocks. Here's this full monologue. I don't know if I can play this, man. They probably gonna give me a copyright strike. I want to see if they got some snippets, man. I don't want to watch the whole full thing.
If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind.
Yes, you do. That's a lie. He did nothing but like you do have illusions about changing people's mind. That's what he did. Everything he talked about was political. Everything was a dump on Trump.
Make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to take light of the murder of a young man.
Fake crying. Fake crying. Fake crying. Yes, you did. And yes, you did. Yes, you did. Fake crying.
I don't make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obvious.
Well, it was a specific group, you faggot. Press 1. It was a specific group. You see how slick he is? You see how slick they are? They're masters at this, man. They are the liberals are masters at this. It wasn't my intention to blame any specific group. Wait a second, but it was a specific group. See how he snuck that in his half quarter of an apology? Even in his bullshit apology, he snuck in some propaganda. He snuck in some propaganda.
It's obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
It was a leftist. It was a liberal nutcase leftist. It wasn't a deeply disturbed individual. It wasn't a deeply disturbed individual. That guy was perfectly fucking sane. They act like that guy was like rubbing shit on his face and like ran up on the roof with like a straw skirt on and paint on his face, yelling, and threw a spear at fucking Charlie Kirk or something. That motherfucker methodically planned everything out to a T. Even to the time he shot Charlie Kirk. Stop acting like this motherfucker was just some disheveled fucking homeless guy who's like babbling and shit. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker was not disturbed. He was perfectly 1000% aware of what everything he was doing.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed.
He didn't say he's sorry. He said to those who felt, I want you to listen close. He never says he's sorry. He just says, hey, if you felt that I pointed the finger, hey, I understand how you feel. And if it happened to me, I'd felt the same way. He never apologized. Hit the like button. Support the channel. Support this show, guys. Support. If you want to support any show on YouTube, support this show. Liberals like him should be terrified to talk, but conservatives don't bring any. Yeah, conservatives. But here's the thing: conservatives are zero threat, right? But they propagandize us as if we're just the worst. What did Joe Biden say? White supremacy, which is conservatism, which is what they have branded conservatism as, is the biggest threat. They don't play, man. One thing about the liberals is they don't play. They get their message across. They know how to get their message across. They're good at messaging. You're racist and dangerous, and you're going to take everybody's rights away. And everyone should fight against you all the time. That's their message. I don't know what the Republicans' message is. Kumbaya, I don't know what the fuck it is. Everybody hold hands and sing. I don't know what the fuck the Republicans' message is.
Was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on.
And he keeps doing the voice cracking, the fake emotion. He's such a piece of shit, man. He is such a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit. I mean, God. We talking about like just an awful human being. He's an awful human being.
Politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person.
No, he represents. You see the propaganda? I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. No fucktard. He represents Antifa, the left, trans. He represents liberal wackos like you. He represents all that shit. This was nothing but propaganda. This was nothing but propaganda. I mean, pure propaganda. Pure and utter propaganda. Salute, salute. This is nothing but pure and utter propaganda, and people won't see it because you gotta listen, man. You gotta listen.
I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person.
Yes, he does. He represents you. He represents liberals. He represents the left. He represents. See, yeah, he told you what he represents. He confessed everyone, all of his friends, including the trans they friend, whatever they them friend, whatever the fuck you want to call that shit. Everybody around him is cooperating. Everyone's cooperating. They're all saying he cooperated initially and then he stopped. They're all saying he was radicalized by leftist propaganda. And Jimmy Kimmel comes out here and says this bullshit.
Other side who I
while holding back tears.
Love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. It ever. And also selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats.
Now he's making it about himself. Now he's saying I get a lot of ugly threats. So basically, of course, you know what that means. That means we know he's not getting these threats from liberals. So he basically says, and then right after he says what he said about Charlie, think about it. Right after he says he doesn't believe the person who shot Charlie represents anything. People how skillful these people are. I don't think the person who shot Charlie represents anything. I mean, look, I get a lot of threats. Who you getting threats from, Jimmy? Who would Jimmy Kimmel be getting threats from? Who would be threatening Jimmy Kimmel? If because assuming that these are true.
Threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my co-workers because of what
my wife, my kids, my co-worker. That was a slick fucking little move he did. That was a slick little move, man. I mean, this guy's good. Take the $5 challenge. Support the channel, man. Support the channel. If you support the channel, guys, sponsor the show, man. Sponsor the show. We sponsor the show. Think about this, man. Think about this. Peep how slick he is. Peep how slick he is.
Politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. It ever.
And it isn't ever.
Also, selfishly,
basically saying that, like, alluding to it's never good to use violence, even when the right does it.
I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers, because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So,
see what I'm saying? He doesn't know who the guy who killed Charlie Kirk was affiliated with. Then he says, I get all kind of threats on my wife, my kids, my auntie, my pet dog, my hamster, my goldfish. And I don't think those people on the right, but he officially knows that they're on the right, the people that press one. He officially knows that the people who are threatening him, allegedly, are on the right. He doesn't know the affiliation of the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, even though every one of his friends says that it's the left. But he gets threats. Jimmy gets threats against his goldfish, against his dog, against his wife, his kids. And I don't think that those people are the type of people on the right that blah, 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 blah. He's wicked. This was wicked. I'm telling you, man. This was wicked. Salute to Roger Wood. He said morning coffee without, yeah. Buy me a cup of coffee, man. Everybody buy me a cup of coffee, man. This is salute to Roger Wood, man. Salute to everybody out there watching on whether you're on X, whether you're on Ock Nation News, or whether you're on Black Colombo channel. Everybody subscribe to Black Colombo. We need everyone to subscribe to the Black Colombo channel, man. That's a big deal right now, man. We need everyone to subscribe to that. Salute to everybody, because let me put the link in there. Everyone needs to subscribe to the Black Colombo channel. That's my new channel. That's the new wave. You know what I mean? That's the new wave in Ock Nation. That's the new wave. Black Colombo, because we gotta dissect this stuff, man. The conservatives need somebody. A lot of the conservatives are not as smart as I thought they were. Press one. A lot of conservatives are not as smart as I think they are. I mean, I like Black conservative perspective. He's pretty smart, man. But a lot of them aren't sharp, man. I mean, that's the word, sharp. They not sharp enough to catch this shit. They not sharp enough. They catch some stuff, but they don't catch enough of this shit. They didn't catch this. This was the biggest part of it. Like, the whole 17-minute monologue was nothing but pure propaganda. But when I was watching videos, I was taking my daughter to school this morning. I was listening to some videos. I was like, damn, these dudes missed everything. They missed literally everything. Like, they caught maybe 5% of the propaganda. They caught maybe 5% of the propaganda. Maybe 5% of the propaganda. It's so much propaganda. It's so much propaganda. It's like you can't even. I mean, listen, man. You just got to get him. You just got to give hats off to these people, man. They're better at this than us, man. And I'm speaking as a conservative. These people, these liberals, are better at this. Like we freaking suck at this. It's so sad, man. It is so sad, man. It's so sad that we suck like that too. Like I'm not even gonna lie, man. It's so sad. It hurts, man. It doesn't even it hurts, man. It hurts. It hurts, man, to know that we're this bad at this as conservatives. That conservatives are possibly this bad. It really you really don't you really couldn't imagine like like my son is better at chess than conservatives. He's one. My son will be 2 in February. He's better at chess than conservatives are at getting their message across. I'm not lying. My son is better at chess than conservatives are at getting their message across or understanding liberals. But their voices are more consistent. It's not just that their voices are louder, their voices are more consistent. It's fuck you 25 days, 8 days a week. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. They never give you a quarter. They never, a conservative can never do anything right or say anything that's not racist or hateful. Every word a conservative ever says is racist or hateful. Meanwhile, we let this shit fly. Salute to Holly Golden. She says, I think most are shocked at how evil some people have been. You, listen, Holly, and listen. Salute to you, Holly, for thank you for the cup of coffee. Um, I wanna tell you this, Holly. We've been through one Trump term. We've been through the Biden administration. No one should be shocked. Even if you want to take it back to the Obama term, no one should be shocked at how evil these people are now. And I agree with you. Oh yeah, let me tell you, I was talking to my mother today. Let me tell you, I told my mother called me this morning, right? And Charlie Kirk came up, right? And listen, my mother, my mother, she's an author, right? So she's in all these circles with she knows a lot of people, right? Also, she was a college professor, right? I don't know if she still is. I don't think she still is a college professor, but she was a college professor, and she's an author, right? So my mom, of course, she's liberal, super liberal woman. I'm talking about she's a black female boomer, but she's also was a college professor for a long time, and she also grew up like when I was young. She was in that Afrocentric stuff, so I grew up kind of like Afrocentric and stuff like that, right? So she says about Charlie Kirk, she says, "Yeah, isn't that crazy that a MAGA dude killed him?" I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, the guy who killed him was MAGA." And I was like, "Is that what you guys are hearing?" She said, "Yeah, that's what everybody's saying." I was like, "Jesus Christ." I said, "All your friends think that a MAGA guy killed Charlie Kirk?" She's like, "Yeah, wasn't it a MAGA guy?" And I was like, and I had to explain it to her, but then it just made me, it just made was just like, because I had to explain it to her about the guy that he wasn't MAGA, and she was like, no, she's like, yeah, oh no, everybody. And she said, that's what I was told. You know, I'm like, oh shit. No, poor everybody. She's not telling me that she thinks that. She's telling me that all of everybody she knows thinks that. That's not the point. It's not the point of what my mom would think. It's the point that everybody she knows thinks that. Because that's what, I mean, that's literally like, they got their message out. The liberals got their message out. Even Jimmy Kimmel, listen to what Jimmy Kimmel, think about it. Even if you were a liberal and you watched Jimmy Kimmel and you knew what he got, you know what he got suspended for. Listen to Jimmy Kimmel. Listen, you're a leftist. You're told that the guy was MAGA. Listen, so and Jimmy Kimmel was suspended because he said the guy was MAGA, and that apparently was wrong. Now Jimmy Kimmel's back.
I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
So it's like, yeah, he's not blaming any particular group. It's no particular group.
Also, selfishly, I am anyone. This was a sick person at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person.
That's the second time in 30 seconds he said that he doesn't think. The second time in 30 seconds he said he doesn't think the person. Listen.
Of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. Takes it all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who.
Yo, they better at this than us. Press 1. They're better at this than us. They're better at this than us. Press 1. It just is what it is. They're better at this than us. And this is just one clip of the 17 minutes. The whole thing he was doing this. Salute to my man Peter, man. Peter says, we must support Black Colombo. Yes, you must support Black Colombo. Yes. Listen, man. One thing about it, man, because I'll do a conspiracy if I believe in it. I will never do a conspiracy I don't truly believe in. Because most of the times, see, I think like a detective. Most of the time, I'm just looking for the truth. I'm just looking for the truth. I'm just looking. That's just the way I was born. And the reason I watch Columbo all the time is because it resonates with me. I get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like this in the street. In the street, niggas hate me for this reason. In the street, in Blackistan, people hate me because I listen. I listen. Niggas hate me a lot. I'm not talking about niggas necessarily hate me. I got a lot of friends and shit. But a lot of people hate. I listen. I listen. I talk a lot on YouTube, but in real life, I listen. I listen. Let's see this clip.
He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his Foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that required.
Everything was bashing Trump. Yeah, everything was bashing Trump. It was just a Trump bash fest. He went upside Trump's head with a goddamn 2x4.
You understand that it was never my intention to.
Damn, Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, but anyway, man, that's the. I heard somebody shout up at ABC. California guy shot up ABC News. There we go. All right, here we go. ABC 10. All right. Hit the like button, man. Let's get as many likes as possible, man. Salute, man. Everybody make sure you subscribe to Black Columbo. I'm going to start going live solely on Black Columbo in the coming weeks. Because Ock Nation News, this channel, I want to get this channel a rest. So please subscribe to Black Columbo. The link is in the description box. And the link is in a pinned comment in the chat. The link is in a pinned comment in the chat. Or you can just type in @Black Columbo in your YouTube search bar. @Black Columbo. Salute to Holly, man. Woo!
Developing news today following the Friday shooting into our station, leaving 3 bullet holes through a window. No one was hurt in the incident, but the man suspected of carrying out the attack now charged with state and federal crimes. That suspect, Anibal Hernandez Santana, is expected to appear in federal court today, and he will be facing his state-level charges tomorrow. Meantime, authorities are continuing to investigate that shooting that happened right here at ABC 10. 64-year-old Hernandez Santana is accused of firing at least 3 gunshots at the building on Friday. Hours later, police arrested him at a home on Carlson Drive. He faces several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Santana eventually bailed out of jail. The next day, the FBI arrested him on federal charges related to the shooting. According to the FBI, he was arrested on probable...
Think about that. He shot up the ABC station and got released on bail the same day or the next day. Think about that. That's why Trump's got to give. That no cash bail shit is just too much, man. It wasn't made for brown people, and I'm not saying that this guy's necessarily. He's the one that should. It doesn't matter who does it. It doesn't matter who does it. No one should be able to shoot up the ABC affiliate and then just bomb out the next day. No, you just don't. You shouldn't be able to do that. But the law was instated because black people. Black people are the reason it was too many black people in jail. And they said bail was unconstitutional because what if you're poor? Yeah, but what if you? Well, but he said rich people don't have that problem. Rich people can just bond out. Poor people can't bond out. But rich people aren't carjacking you at the red light and doing drive-bys in your neighborhood, except for this guy, who seems pretty well off. Except for him.
The FBI arrested him on federal charges related to the shooting. According to the FBI, he was arrested on probable cause for violating a federal statute that prohibits any person from willfully or maliciously interfering with or causing interference to any radio communications from a licensed or authorized radio station or a station operated by the U.S. government. We spoke to a federal criminal defense attorney, and Candace Fields says if Santana Hernandez is found guilty of that particular charge, he could face a maximum of 1 year in prison. She says that charge is a bit of a stretch since the law violated in this case usually pertains to situations like online hackers. But if it does move forward, Fields says this could happen.
It is not inappropriate for the state to bring charges that are relevant to the state's interests and to have the federal government also pursue charges that are relevant to federal interests. Parallel tracks are acceptable. It's called dual sovereignty, and it happens. There's no impropriety.
So here's what we know about the suspected shooter. According to his attorney, Hernandez Santana is from Puerto Rico. He's a retired lobbyist and Army veteran with a law degree. Neighbors describing him as a quiet and reserved person. There's still a lot of unanswered questions in this case, and police are still searching for a motive. Again, Hernandez Santana scheduled to make his first court appearance in federal court today at 2 p.m. Then tomorrow, he's set to appear in Sacramento County Superior Court for the local charges. His attorney says he will be trying to get his client released on bail again today.
Damn. Damn.
Tonight, we're digging into court documents that push for no bail after last week's shooting into our ABC 10 news station. Now, a federal criminal defense attorney is weighing in on whether the suspect could be released while waiting for his next court hearings. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us in studio with the details. And Roxanne, explain for us what factors will ultimately decide if he's let out of jail.
Well, Laura, there are many factors that a judge will look into before deciding on whether to release a person. Most of the time, it depends on the person's background. But defense attorney Candace Fields says in this case, both federal and state judges won't be able to overlook all the allegations Hernandez Santana is facing. A few days after the arrest of Aníbal Hernandez Santana, and evidence on the record is mounting regarding allegations made against him. Federal criminal defense attorney Candace Fields is weighing what factors the judge will have to consider.
The judge is going to have more information to consider regarding the danger to the community.
Hernandez Santana, accused of shooting into the ABC 10 news station Friday afternoon, is now being held at Sacramento County Jail without bail. According to federal court documents, Hernandez Santana faces 3 federal charges, including possession and discharge of a firearm within a school zone. Documents reveal that about 2 minutes before firing 3 rounds in front of the ABC 10 station, he fired a single shot while standing on the public sidewalk at 2555 3rd Street. Investigators determined that the initial shot was several hundred feet away from both Health Professionals High School and Latata Floyd Elementary School. Fields says the distance could be a significant factor in the case.
I believe it's alleged that this particular person not only was registered on the firearm that was seized, but there are some firearms that are associated with this person who have not been seized. And that makes the risk higher to the community.
Fields says both state and federal judges will consider several factors, including family and community ties, employment, and criminal history. A note found in
For hiding Epstein and ignoring
suggesting
red
additional potential
flags.
targets could raise.
This was the note. This was the note that he left that they found in his car. For hiding Epstein and ignoring red flags, do not support Patel, Bongino, and Attorney General Pam Bondi. They're next. So, and listen, they're going to try to act like they don't. Here's the thing. They could still convince people that they don't know that what this guy's political leanings were. They're good, man. They're just good, man. They could still convince you that, hey, man, we don't know why he did that. Or they could just lie and say that it was a conservative that shot up the station. They'll just lie. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. We are in the building. Take the $5 challenge, the $10 challenge, whatever.
Serious concerns for a judge. Field says documents from the Superior Court of California are asking that the defendant be kept in custody and held without bail. They say that based on the latest facts of the case, the defendant is considered a clear and present danger to the public.
Because this defendant has no criminal history whatsoever, he's a retired lawyer. He has ties to the community, family ties. He could turn in his passport. He's not a flight risk. In all likelihood, he could be released. And
you hear this, bitch? He just shot up the fucking ABC news station and had a note saying that the Attorney General, the head of the FBI, and who else? The assistant head of the FBI were next. He literally discharged his gun randomly through the window at the ABC affiliate over Jimmy Kimmel, and then said that 3 top Republican officials are next. And they're talking about, well, we could release him. He's not a threat to the public. Jeez.
Found in his car suggesting additional potential targets could raise serious concerns for a judge. Field says documents from the Superior Court of California are asking that the defendant be kept in custody and held without bail. They say that based on the latest facts of the case, the defendant is considered a clear and present danger to the public.
because this defendant has no criminal history whatsoever, he's a retired lawyer. He has ties to the community, family ties. He could turn in his passport. He's not a flight risk. In all likelihood, he could be released and show up to court. The issue is danger to the community.
Aníbal Hernández Santana's legal defense team sent us this statement, which says defendants accused of wrongdoing are presumed innocent at all stages in the legal process before trial. Depriving a defendant of their liberty before trial makes the entire legal process longer and more difficult because it creates additional hurdles that defendants and their lawyers must overcome to prepare a robust legal defense that everyone is entitled to. The suspect will be back in court tomorrow. Chris, Laura.
Okay, Roxanne, thank you.
Man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jeez. Unbelievable.
A 31-year-old mother shot and killed just after dropping her son off at school. Her family tonight still fighting for justice.
Tia Ewing spoke with the family today.
CJ plays video games to block out a painful reality. His mom will never walk through the door again.
Look down at your heart, and your mama will always be right there for you. You want to say something to her, look down at your heart, And whatever you say to her, say it to her right there. The same way I have to do. I have to look right here. And I have to talk to her and ask her, just tell me what happened.
Instead of planning her 6-year-old grandson's birthday, Tina McMiller shared the last note Romika Blackman left for her son.
And then she wrote him a note in his lunchbox. And on the back of the note, he responded and said, I love you more, Mom.
The 31-year-old mom was shot and killed just after dropping her son off at school near Cermak State in the South Loop. She had gotten into a fight with another woman. Both of them share a child with the same man who lives nearby. He was also at that scene. That other woman, also 31, shot Blackman 3 times. One bullet struck her in the face.
Got a female black, light complexion, green tracksuit, has a gun, fighting with another female black, dark complexion.
The shooter stayed on the scene, and as you can see, a witness pointed out the shooter to police. One of the witnesses also said the father of Blackman's child had her in a headlock before the shots were fired.
I'm licensed to carry. It doesn't matter. You shot somebody. What the wrong with you?
The man in the shorts is CJ's father. He's covered in blood.
How did she just walk away? How? When they told you that he had her in the headlock, how did he even walk away? Why did they was so easy to walk away? They tell me, look at the video, they bumping fences. I don't know about any of that because I really can't even focus.
Court records show the shooter had filed multiple protective orders against Blackman starting last December and as recently as this summer. The family believes she was trying to build a paper trail.
That's a game that was played and it was premeditated.
The shooter was taken into custody but later released. Blackman's family says she was unarmed. Witness video also shows Blackman's white car stopped in the street, but it's unclear how she got out. They insist there was no reason to shoot her. Blackman worked 2 jobs and was studying to become a registered nurse. Her school awarded her mom a pin posthumously.
You had an opportunity to walk away, to call the police, to turn around and get in your car and drive off. You did none of the above.
The Cook County State's Attorney's Office did release a statement after an initial review of the evidence presented by police. There is insufficient information to make a charging decision at this time. We will continue working with the Chicago Police Department as the investigation proceeds and remain committed to pursuing justice for everyone in our communities. Blackman's family says they know they can't hear her voice again, but want to hear from those that will make a decision on.
He said, over a son, man. Yeah, man. These sisters, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
So what we can tell you again, that 2 are confirmed dead here. The third is, of course, the shooter who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We've been discussing this morning the proximity of Parkland to the crime scene as being a likely candidate for these folks to be transported to. We're not seeing a lot of police activity here, which again, either tells me that they were taken to UT Southwestern, or perhaps, unfortunately, they were not able to be saved in a significant way that would then have them come to a hospital for more treatment, because unfortunately they have passed away. Again, we're being told 3 people have been shot. We can confirm 2 of them are deceased, and then on top of that, the shooter as well. We can tell you that Dallas police are taking the lead on this.
So Dallas is shooting at the Dallas Ice Center. Who the hell you think did that? I'll give you one guess.
Trisha's with us now. Dana?
Yeah, Trisha McLaughlin, thank you so much for being here. You've had about, I think, 22 minutes since we last heard from you when you were on Fox and Friends. Is there any other information you have gathered that you could share with us now?
Dana, we want to give you guys as much information, the American public, as much information as we possibly can, but details are very much still emerging. Right now, we're praying for our law enforcement, for the detainees, and for the local law enforcement who is also on scene. We know that there were 3 fatalities, potentially detainees, not ICE law enforcement at this time, that there have been other injuries, and some individuals are in critical condition, and we'll get you that information as soon as possible. As far as the shooter goes, there was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he is dead. He's deceased. We believe that he was shooting at law enforcement and the detainees from an apartment building. Again, those details are still murky. It looked like it might have been a sniper or some sort of a long form shot. But as soon as we have more information, we will give that out. But we do ask the American public, please join us in praying for the victim.
All this, man. So they shot up the ABC News the other day. They shot up ICE Detention Center today. Wow. 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 And meanwhile, black women are shooting each other left and right.
Breaking overnight, a 17-year-old shot during a fight in the Loop. Police say she's expected to be okay, but they're speaking to a person of interest right now. Our Darius Johnson live at Northwestern Memorial, where the teen was taken to be treated. Darius, good morning.
Hey there, ladies. Good morning to the both of you. Witnesses at the scene say this may have involved a security guard outside the Jewel, and all of this happening in the same spot where residents in the South Loop say it is troublesome. They've been saying that for years. Now, take a listen at what we heard over police radio.
Okay, we're getting a call for that Jewel saying that security guard just shot a female that's a minor and she's not breathing.
Oh, security guard shot her. And listen, they'll try to act like that's implausible. Why does security guard have to shoot a little girl? Shit. There's plenty of reasons a security guard could have to shoot a little girl, a 17-year-old girl. Because there's plenty of reasons a security guard would have to shoot a teen sister. The way they fight, the way they have no off button once they get mad. The way they constantly escalate and escalate and escalate.
10:30 last night outside Jewel at Roosevelt and Wabash, Chicago police blocked off the entrance with crime scene tape with blood visible on the ground. Witnesses told police an altercation between the 17-year-old girl and the security guard turned physical. Then it's believed the security guard pulled out a gun and shot her in the thigh. That teen was treated at the scene by Chicago Fire before she was taken to Northwestern Memorial in good condition, so she's expected to be okay. On the ground, we noticed an opened bottle of orange juice left behind. It's unclear how it's connected to this scene. Now, this area has really been the focus of safety concerns over the last couple of years. In the last year, neighbors in this area raised alarms about loitering and harassment at this exact same intersection.
Loitering and harassment. Who's that? Who loiters and harasses?
Where a red line is also there as well. Now, in the last month, we also told you about the county's plan to open a sheriff's substation right there in the South Loop at the corner of Roosevelt and State. Despite promises to open in June, that substation remains empty months later. Now, back out here live this morning, as I mentioned, that girl who is currently being treated here at Northwestern Memorial is expected to be okay. And right now, we are working with police to confirm if it was a security guard that is involved in all of this. The only thing that they tell us at this time is that they are speaking with a person of interest.
Basically, this place in front of this store is so dangerous, and there's so many unruly blacks over there that, some teenage chick forcing a security guard to shoot her. Just another day, man. Just another day. Where the white women making security guards shoot them? Where is that? Where are the white women making security guards shoot them?
As the FBI says, the work is not done.
The agency's local field office is sharing its Chicago's most wanted list. WGN's Courtney Spinelli says it wants to call attention to cases with suspects still on the run.
Show me your hands. Get off the ground. Do it now.
A 23-year-old wanted in a murder in South suburban Riverdale, recently caught nearly 3 hours away in Menasha, Wisconsin. Calvin Hutchinson, among 7 other fugitives, landing themselves on the Chicago Most Wanted list.
Do it now. Echo 18, we got 2 at gunpoint. What's going on?
The FBI Chicago says it worked with local, state, and federal agencies to identify and track down wanted criminals deemed most dangerous as part of Operation Summer Heat. 25 people were caught during the 4-day op, but 8 others, now 7 with Hutchinson's arrest, were still on the run.
So the thought is that we can put them together and kind of focus our efforts, focus the public's efforts and resources as well on trying to identify or trying to apprehend these 7 individuals.
Supervisory special agents Jeremy Reesar and Michael Goldberg say the fugitives, many who have lengthy criminal records, are considered a threat to public safety.
And the sooner that we can work together to get them off of the streets and into custody, the safer that our neighborhoods will be.
Tracking down Hutchinson involved a handful of agencies, not uncommon for the FBI given how often suspects flee the state and country.
We were able to come up with the plan of what's called an open air takedown, where the officers basically converged on them from all sides.
The others on the list represent cases still haunting communities, families still yearning for justice, loved ones of murdered National Guard member Chris Carvajal included.
It is hard every single day. I never give up.
The 19-year-old was gunned down in the city's Belmont-Cragen neighborhood in 2021 while leaving a party. Alleged gang member Joseph Matos and an accomplice are accused of killing Carvajal to keep and increase their status in a Northside gang. Matos is still in the wind as Carvajal's family has pleaded to the public for help in the years since.
We need our community to come together and do the right thing now that there is a face to the case. You have seen this person before.
The FBI says the same goes for others, including Aaron Barcenas and Julio Bernal. They're charged with first-degree murder in the drive-by shooting of 14-year-old Eric Alfaro in unincorporated Elk Grove Township in 2022. Gary Llewellyn is wanted on federal charges in a violent 2023 carjacking on the far south side. Antonio Stigler accused of murdering a pregnant woman in Riverdale in 2024. Nesta Gray charged in the murder of a 16-year-old boy found shot in the back of his head in a Cook County forest preserve in 2022. Giovanni Portillo accused of shooting a man outside of a Naperville restaurant in an alleged gang dispute. The FBI and other agencies involved hoping to eliminate the rest of this list.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 hombres, 4 sons. 4 hombres, 4 sons. No gliders. No gliders. No gliders.
With the help of anyone who knows where they may be hiding.
Hands behind your back.
Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
4 sons, no gliders.
And we have dramatic new video of a takeover robbery at a high-end San Ramon shopping center. It ended when the suspects shot their way out of that jewelry store.
NBC Bears' Jody Hernandez spoke with police about how they managed to track down those thieves.
San Ramon police released several new videos of that terrifying takeover robbery. They say the Dublin Police Department gave them a heads up that a robbery crew out of Oakland was in the area. So they immediately deployed their drone to the shopping center. And they say, of course, the store's surveillance cameras also captured the robbers in action.
This is the moment more than 20 masked and hooded people stormed into Heller Jewelers in broad daylight Monday. Some of them armed with guns, others with crowbars. Police say the mob then helped themselves to $1 million worth of fine jewelry.
When they went in, they basically took over the store. They went to all the jewelry display cases and began just smashing the display cases at will, using the crowbars and the pickaxes, and basically taking whatever jewelry was available.
When the store door closed behind them, police say it automatically locked, trapping the group inside. A witness captured the robbers firing shots to escape.
It was a very dangerous situation. They did fire multiple rounds through the door, which caused the door to shatter, and they were able to then push the glass out and exit.
Drone footage captured the suspects getting into their cars and speeding away. Police say choppers followed them. Officers arrested 3 men and a 17-year-old on International Boulevard in Oakland and arrested 3 others at the Dublin BART station.
The biggest concern was not seeing just 1 or 2 or 3 people, but like 20 people being involved in something like this.
Michael and Joyce Comer just bought their wedding rings at Heller. They were hoping to get them cleaned today, but the store was closed. They are appalled at what happened.
Something really tragic could have happened, worse than stealing jewelry yesterday.
Police say they're still looking for at least 17 suspects. They say detectives are working around the clock to find them. In San Ramon, Jody Hernandez, NBC Bay Area.
So look at that shit, man. Every time I see this, I always think like, are they not afraid that like a police officer could just randomly be walking down the street, or a police officer could be cruising like the block? Like, how come every time they hit, there's no police around ever? I've watched so many of these things. I've never seen a police interrupt one of these things. Press 1 if you have. Press 1 if you've seen a police interrupt one of these things. A police just walk up like, oh shit, they're going over there robbing that store. Let me, it's never a police around. Ever. Are these guys using scanners or something? Are they using scanners? It's remarkable that there's never ever a police around. I'm not saying a conspiracy theory. It's something that they got to be doing. They might be using scanners to see where the police are when they do it. But even then, 911 immediately. These people probably immediately calling 911 because this is terrifying. This is terrifying. I don't know what I don't know how they keep getting away with this stuff.
An NBC5 News exclusive. We first brought you this story of a small family-owned business battling break-ins in Chicago's Fulton Market neighborhood in February of 2024. But despite community support and even a plea for the burglars to stop, the break-ins continued, ultimately forcing the owners to make the tough decision to close. NBC5's Courtney Sisk with the story you will only see here on NBC5.
In February 2024, the pop-up store was broken into twice in 10 days at its Fulton Market location, despite owner Kevin Wood's message to burglars, letting them know their actions hurt local families.
It impacts a lot of people. It's hard for us to operate when things are stolen.
A year and a half later, the shop is in a new spot in Bucktown, but the burglars would follow it there too.
Several hundred products, damage, furniture, collectible items. So it's pretty tough.
Surveillance.
Damn. This nigga moved. Was he selling tennis shoes?
Video shows the burglars just after 4:30 a.m. using a sledgehammer to break down double-pane glass and take rackfuls of products for several minutes.
Yeah, I think he sells tennis shoes. Yeah. You can't sell tennis shoes in the hood. Even Foot Locker gets looted during riots and hurricanes and shit like that, natural disasters. Foot Locker is one of the main places they loot. I think this guy's selling tennis shoes. Yeah, you're selling tennis shoes, niggas are gonna steal your shit. We had 2 people take the $5 challenge. Let's see if we can get more than 2 people to take the $5 challenge for this daytime show, man. How many we got? Salute. We got 100 on Ak Nation News. We got 25 watching on Black Colombo, 23 watching on Twitter. Hit the like button too. Smash that like button. Share these videos, man. You selling tennis shoes, man. Yeah, these motherfuckers robbing him. Yeah, they
We put in 5 security shutters, 2 metal grates. We spent over $15,000 in security.
The cost of the loss, hard to calculate, but in the tens of thousands of dollars. Wood said it's part of the difficult reality of having curated high-value merchandise as a small business in Chicago.
We call it the Chicago city tax.
What does that mean?
That means if you have good stuff, it's going to get taken or stolen.
According to Chicago police data, there have been more than 4,000 burglaries so far in 2025. But this time for the pop-up, it caused an end of an era for Woods and his staff. The store will permanently close by October.
Baseball, 3 strikes, you're out, I guess. I'm trying to be optimistic, but it's like, look, it's not working, having a brick and mortar.
For Woods, the hardest part of the decision is for his young employees who found inspiration working there.
My greatest friends have been met through the shop. One of my fondest memories has been a part of it.
Rafael Runes has been working there since he was 17 years old.
Kevin's given so many people great opportunities to do our thing here. It's a magical place,
As the pop-up closes this chapter, Woods leaves behind this message for other small businesses trying to make it in Chicago.
There's power in numbers, so continue to communicate with each other.
Courtney Sisk, NBC5 News.
Jeez. Ran that nigga up out of They ran that nigga up out of there. God damn, man. Jeez. They got him up out of there. Woo.
Also facing a judge today, the former deputy director of a D.C. public safety agency. She pleaded guilty earlier this year to taking a $10,000 bribe, which she describes as, quote, a lapse in judgment.
And today, Dana McDaniel was sentenced to 16 weekends behind bars, more than 3.
I had a friend who did weekends in jail. He would go in on Friday, and then he would leave Sunday. So he would go there like after work on Friday, turn himself in. They process him. He'd be in his cell that night, and then Saturday, or be in the facility that night and Saturday. Sunday, he would leave I think at night or something, like after 5 or something on Sunday, and then he would work all week, and then he would go back to or do whatever the hell he was doing all week. Then go back to jail on weekends. That's something I know somebody who actually did that. I wonder if they got that in other places, but that's definitely a DC thing. They'll give you weekends in jail. You can work. DC's very lenient, man. Very lenient. Very lenient. And they'll work it off say you got 60 days, right? They'll give you credit. They'll give you credit for 3 days, even though the Friday and Sunday you didn't spend in jail the whole day. The only whole day you spent in jail was that Saturday. But they'll give you credit for the Friday and the Sunday, even though they're basically 6 hours on Friday and you know what I'm saying, half the day on Sunday. These is very, very lenient. Salute to Kofi, man. Kofi 19, man. Appreciate you buying me a cup of coffee. You guys see I'm wide awake today, man. All this coffee is keeping me up, man. All this coffee is keeping me up. Thank you, guys. Kofi with the coffee. Salute to Osa the Healer, man. Osa in the building, man. Shout out to Osa, man. Yeah, very lenient. DC's very lenient, man. I've had so many things tossed out of court, just thrown out. Doesn't exist anymore. If you saw my criminal record, you might think that I'm actually lying about, because it's a lot of things they just throw out. They just no paper it. They're just no paper a bunch of shit. You'll get arrested. You'll go to jail. that day, if it's a weekend or weekday, but you'll see the judge the next court day, the next day the court is open.
Also facing a judge today, the former deputy director of a DC public safety agency. She pleaded guilty earlier this year to taking a $10,000 bribe, which she describes as, quote, a lapse in judgment.
And today, Dana McDaniel was sentenced to 16 weekends behind bars, more than 3 years on probation, and 6 months on house arrest. Our Washington, D.C. reporter Felicia Ashley is joining us live from the D.C. Bureau tonight.
Yeah, Felicia, you were in court today, and the judge said that government employees need to learn a lesson. What happened?
That's right, and he said that lesson is if you're a government employee and you get involved in these pay-to-play schemes, that there will be consequences. And today, Dana McDaniel felt some of those consequences. Now, today in court, we heard for the first time why she claimed she got involved in all of this. She said that she said no multiple times when she was propositioned with this bribe. She said she eventually said yes. She claimed that she fell upon financial issues, but she said from the jump, she knew it was wrong.
It's sad that someone like the confidential informant can have an influence on someone like Ms. McDaniel.
Cameras were not allowed as I sat in the sentencing for former 1C director Dana McDaniel. In court, McDaniel says she took the bribe out of panic and fear.
Obviously, Ms. McDaniel doesn't agree with the position that she sold herself or her position. Instead, it's our position that she was actually poached and that she found herself in a bad time and had a lapse of judgment and made a bad decision.
McDaniel's guilty plea, as well as Councilman Tran White's arrest, have caused heavy scrutiny of the validity of DC's violence interrupters. White is also facing a federal charge for an alleged bribe tied to McDaniel's former office. The office is responsible for violence prevention programs. The violence interrupters have been under a microscope since essentially her arrest, and obviously another that has a trial in January. She mentioned that she didn't want what's happening right now to taint that work. As it relates to violence interrupters and the work that Ms. McDaniel had a heavy hand in, what are your thoughts on where that stands now and even her future in continuing to do work in the community?
I think it's, again, there's no winners today, and this is very sad. And I think the worst part about this is those violence interrupters literally put their lives on the line like police officers, but without the badges and the guns. That they've created alliances throughout the district with different gangs and communities and neighborhoods.
As part of her plea to the judge to lower her sentence, McDaniel shared that right now, as I'm speaking with you, she still works in the community with at-risk as well as special needs children, and said that at least 100 of them, as well as her daughter, rely on her. Now, in court, the judge said that he did not feel that McDaniel was completely honest with everything that she did and everything that she knew, but he did say that he felt that she did learn her lesson. Now, I will be back in that same federal courthouse in January, where a council member will now face his federal trial for a bribe connected to McDaniel's same former office. We're now reporting live from the D.C. Bureau. Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
Thank you, Felicia. Now, you heard her just mention a January trial. That is when council member Tran White will face a jury. He's accused of agreeing to accept tens of thousands of dollars to steer city contracts.
Look at these niggas. Look at these niggas, man. Just the stealing money. This whole, I think violence interruptions, man, between this scandal in DC and the scandal in Chicago with the one who did the smash and grab downtown and killed the guy downtown Chicago days after taking a picture with Governor Pritzker. I feel like these two scandals, because they're in DC and Chicago, these are big time cities, man. These two scandals are gonna put a dent in this racket, because this is a racket, man. This is a racket. I've been trying to find the news article, because I was in the news, man, because I was part of one of these programs. I was in the news, but I'm gonna have to track that article down. I'll track it down, but I haven't been able to find it, but yeah, I was in the news for being a part of one of these programs. It's all a fucking racket. You don't get shit done. Even we tried, but you don't get shit. You can't fix this. You cannot fix this problem other than putting niggers in jail. Press 1. You have to put niggas in jail. That's the only solution. And you have to put them in jail immediately upon what they do. And you have to put them in jail for a long time. You have to send messages. That's the only way to fix this. Nothing else works. Salute the laughing dog, man. He said, feel very blessed to be with Ock Nation during my workday. Yeah, man. We in here. We in the building, man. Daytime stream, man. Thank you for the 4 cups of coffee, man. I appreciate that, man. That's keeping me up. Look at me. 4 cups of coffee. I'm in here. Nothing works, man. None of this shit works.
At the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement. He allegedly actually received $35,000 in some kickbacks on grants. And you can find our extensive coverage on this bribery investigation and the concerns that it raises about possible corruption in D.C. on our 7 News.
Possible corruption. Possible corruption. Possible corruption.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This has been a very interesting hearing for a myriad of reasons. Mayor Bowser, thanks for being here with us. I do appreciate you taking the time today. It was said earlier that in 1973, Congress did pass the D.C. Home Rule Act. It is known on Capitol Hill, is known quite frankly through our entire constitutional republic, that any Congress cannot bind a future Congress. Just like at the state level, a legislature cannot bind a future legislature. That something that is enacted can be modified or undone in the future. I was able to have a conversation with a lot of the people from the Free DC organization. Some of them might still be in the room today. And that was the constant point that we came back to. That yes, under the law passed in 1973, your position was created, the DC City Council's position was created, but the ultimate authority for the federal district is still the United States Congress, and with the signature of the President of the United States. Would you agree with that assessment?
I would agree. And I would also add it's within the power of this Congress to advance the DC statehood bill by simple majority. This Congress can, like it has done for every state in the union outside of the first 13, admit DC as a state.
I'm glad you actually brought that up, because one of the reasons why I opposed the DC statehood bill is because the Constitution and the framers were actually quite clear that they did not want the federal district per se to be leveraged by a state or any state. And I think I had conversations with several residents of DC who were walking through the halls of Capitol Hill when then Speaker Pelosi was bringing that up. And I asked them 2 very important questions. If you want to have representation, why don't we allow that property to be re-annexed by the state of Maryland, which actually provided the land for the federal district to be created? Or would the citizens of the District of Columbia prefer not to be subject to federal income taxes as a result of them not having quote unquote representation? What's your thought on that?
I do think it's time to talk about what the district pays and what we get back. I do think it's time to have that conversation.
And that's a fair conversation to have. I got a couple questions for you. Let's get to the business of the matter. Since President Trump authorized the National Guard to be in DC, how much has crime decreased in the District of Columbia?
I think it's important, and then I've noticed that this has happened throughout this conversation, that you talk about the National Guard and you don't talk about federal law enforcement. And the federal surge consisted of federal law enforcement, which MPD works with all the time. I'm talking about the FBI, the DEA.
Mayor Bowser, I'm really not trying to disrespect you, but how much has crime decreased?
Oh, I mentioned already and let me look at my numbers, that the federal surge produced a 39% decrease in violent crime.
39% decrease.
39% decrease. That's embarrassing. Let me tell you why that's embarrassing. Let me explain to you why that's embarrassing. Federal troops, FBI, National Guard. Like she said, it's not just the National Guard. It's the National Guard in conjunction with federal troops and federal agents. And niggas are still committing crimes and shooting people and robbing people. This is sad, man. Because I read the DC police blotter on Twitter a lot. And niggas is still doing the same shit in the hoods, deep in the hoods, like in Ward 8 and Ward 7. Well, a lot of different wards, but deep in the trenches, niggas is still fucking shooting and killing. No, not really killing like that, but they're still shooting. Like, let me show you something, man. Let me show you something. This is DC crime blotter, one of the ones online. Person stabbed on 295 southbound Suitland Parkway, Southeast DC. On scene investigating a stabbing with one individual with stab wound injuries. It's a hit and run. That ain't that bad. Hit and run ain't that bad. That's just shit that goes on. Citizen robbed by juveniles in Southeast DC. See, Southeast DC is like the 90% black part. It somehow resisted gentrification. Citizen robbed by juveniles in Southeast DC 17 hours ago on the 1300 block of 4th Street Southeast. Citizens having their possessions taken by 3 individuals. It's not as much as it used to be, but it's still breaking news: foot chase with wanted man, one in custody. Oh, that's in Maryland. That's in PG County. MPD units. This was yesterday. A robbery near Connecticut Avenue near UDC. One adult female was located conscious and breathing from injuries sustained in an assault. That probably had to do with, because UDC is kind of like a high school. It's kind of like, the University District of Columbia. It's kind of like, you got people from DC there, it's like a school it's a college, community college full of people from DC. So it's not as much as it used to be. I'll give them that. But it's still, niggas are still, look at it. Citizen robbed at knife point on the 22nd. 61st Street Northeast. That's over there. Eastern Avenue and all that stuff. Wow. Yeah. I mean, it is going down. I can tell from that blotter that it's going down considerably. It's little stuff here and there. It's little stuff here and there. But just that fact that niggas is still brave enough to do that stuff. Niggas are still brave enough to fire guns in public and rob people in public with the federal agents, increased federal agent. It goes to show you we got to stop feeling sad about how many niggas is in jail. If niggas are committing crimes with this surge of, forces in DC, we have to never be sorry about too many black people in jail. Because you niggas know that there's a greater likelihood for you to go to jail now. And you're still committing crimes. Salute to Miss Berry. Miss Berry bought me a cup of coffee. Shout out to Miss Berry. I needed that, man. Don Wrinkles. He says, first food deserts, now shoe deserts. When will institutional systems come to an end? Yeah, listen. When you around black folk, right? I sold weed in the hood, right? I sold weed everywhere though. I sold weed everywhere I went. I sold weed in college. I sold weed in Quaker school. I sold weed everywhere I went. I just was a weed dealer for a long period of time, right? And I got robbed a lot, man. I got my apartment broken into. I got robbed. I got robbed at gunpoint selling weed on the block. When I was dumb enough to sell on the block, I got robbed at gunpoint. I got robbed. I've been burglarized numerous times. You know what I mean? If you got, that's just how it is when you're around blacks, man. A lot of dudes not gonna tell you that. A lot of dudes, a lot of YouTubers, they gangster, right? And they talk about the shit they did, and they never talk about the shit that happened to them. And you'll see this nigga on YouTube every day, and you'll think he's fucking Superman. But I'm telling you, these niggas is getting jacked. These niggas got jacked. They got robbed. They got jumped. They got stomped out at the dice game. They got their ass beat at the club. They got their spot rushed. They got stuck up while they was on the block. They got, you know what I'm saying? Niggas stole their pack while they was outside, hustling. Niggas steal, niggas rob. That's what they did at epic proportions, man. When compared to the rest of the society. They rob and they steal, man. And, me, I always was like this. When I would get robbed or I would get burglarized or whatever would happen, you know what I'm saying, when I was selling weed, right? Because a lot of times I like to sell weed out of the house or out of a spot. Or I'd have a spot with the window, you know what I'm saying? Like people come up to this little back window, have an apartment somewhere, people come up to the window, knock on the window, you stick it through the window. I worked out a lot of spots like that, right? Just come back the next day. Get some shit, get fronted some shit, and come back the next day. That was my philosophy. That was always my philosophy. Come back. Come back. If I had some money, I would buy some more shit and come right back. If I had some, if I didn't, I'd get somebody to front me because I knew a lot of connects. Because when you're in the weed business, you gotta know a lot of connects because everybody don't already got it when you need it. So you need to know a lot of connects. I get somebody to front me and I come right back. You gotta be resilient, man. You gotta be resilient around niggas, man. You gotta be resilient around niggas. You gotta be resilient, man. If you're not resilient, you can't sell nothing around there. You can't be around. You can't be a merchant around niggas if you're not resilient. You gotta be resilient. And you gotta, like the guy said in the earlier story, Chicago, that come with the game. That come with niggas. They gonna steal your shit. They gonna rob you. They gonna do that shit. That just come with it. That's part of the game. Salute to Don Wrinkles, man.
decrease in
Yes,
violent
and
crime
that's on
in the
top.
nation's capital.
Let me just add, that's on top of the 26% decrease that we were already experiencing.
So it seems that the president's surge was more effective than your own efforts. What did you say?
It
Last time I
accelerated.
checked, 39% is way higher than 26%. But let me
Damn, Jesus Christ. He's being polite to her. He's being polite because she wanted. I give this. She didn't want this. She didn't want this. She fought against the 2020 bullshit, but the city council overruled her, and made him, let all the criminals out of jail. She fought against it. I will give her that. But yeah, he's still roasting her, even though he's being polite.
I think it's important, and then I've noticed that this has happened throughout this conversation, that you talk about the National Guard and you don't talk about federal law enforcement. And the federal surge consisted of federal law enforcement, which MPD works with all the time. I'm talking about the FBI, the DEA.
Mayor Bowser, I'm really not trying to disrespect you, but how much has crime decreased?
Oh,
Since the president took action.
I mentioned already and let me look at my numbers, that the federal surge produced a 39% decrease in violent crime.
39% decrease in violent
and that's
crime
on
in
top,
the nation's capital.
Let me just add, that's on top of the 26% decrease that we were already experiencing.
So it seems that the president's surge was more effective than your own efforts. What did you say?
It
Last time I
accelerated.
checked, 39% is way higher than 26%. But let me move on.
But the full statistic is a little different.
Chairman Mendelson, I didn't ask you a question.
I know,
Relax,
but the
hang
full
on.
statistic is a little different.
Actually, Chairman, let me ask you this question.
Salute to Carter, man. Shout out to Carter. Oh man, I'm wide awake now, man. I'm wide awake, man.
Because you butted in. Now let me ask you.
Sure.
What is the
My
current
penalty.
status of the Metropolitan Police Department in terms of staffing? How many officers do you have on the beat?
I believe it's less than 3,100.
Okay. Is the MPD fully staffed?
In my view, no.
Question. Hold that point. Here's the question. So is a surge of federal law enforcement into the federal enclave, which the mayor has acknowledged is the primary responsibility of the federal government, isn't it simple logic to say that the president's surge has been helpful to safety and security in the District of Columbia, Chairman?
The additional law enforcement resources has been good. We work with those different agencies all the time. There was more of it, more of a good thing. National Guard is separate. ICE is separate.
Question for you, Chairman. You just said you said something I want to expound. You've been working with the federal government during this surge
and before
that was brought by President Trump and before. So you've been working with him through this entire time.
With the federal, like DEA, FBI, MPS Park Police.
Mayor Bowser, you would concur that you guys have been working with the President of the United States throughout this entire period, correct?
Mr. Donalds, I work with every president.
I know, but I'm
President
trying to
Trump,
establish a
in
baseline.
Trump 1 and in Trump 2.
And I thank you for that, Mayor
Yes,
Bowser.
that is our job. As to
all
we all stand ready to work with. We're unique. The District of Columbia is unique in
Mayor
that
Bowser,
we're always going to have
Mayor
a
Bowser, I'm out of
relationship
time, so I got to reclaim.
Sorry.
I apologize.
Yep.
I agree, Mayor Bowser.
Yes.
The district is unique. The district is not like any other city in the United States. It is the federal enclave. I commend you and your team for working with the President of the United States to keep the district safe. I really do. I think it's important for a lot of people who are saying that they're upset with the president, that your own mayor and your own chairman of the city council has acknowledged that crime has gone down while working with the president. Let's work together. Let's give peace a chance. I yield back.
Mr. Chair.
That's liberals. They still won't give you, like I said, it's fuck you 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. They still won't give Donald Trump an
DEA,
inch.
FBI,
And listen, I commend liberals for that. They are hardcore. Their messaging is insane. When my mother told me that it was a MAGA dude that killed Charlie Kirk this morning, I mean, like that shit was just so crazy. I don't know why I was shocked. I have no idea why I was shocked, but I was shocked. I was stunned. I was like, what? Yeah, didn't the MAGA guy kill Charlie Kirk? I was like, oh shit. Like, they're messaging. So the message from DC is Trump is overstepping. Trump is an authoritarian. Even though crime is down 39%. And for niggas, that's good for niggas because niggas are. If this happened in a white city, crime will be down 100%. Press 1. If this happened in a white city, crime would be down 100%. But 39% is very, very, very good for niggas, man. Very, very good for niggas. But he's not gonna get any credit for it. And he's gonna be known as just this chapter of Trump's presidency is gonna be known as just a big abject, like Nazi fascism, an expression of Nazi fascism. I'm gonna have to come back and listen. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna pick up my daughter. I'm gonna go pick up my daughter. We're gonna cover this ICE facility thing when I get back. I'm gonna go pick up my daughter though. Salute to all you guys, man. Take her to over at grandmother's house. We'll cover this ICE facility. Everybody, make sure you tune back in. All right, 1:30, 2 o'clock. I don't know. I'm trying to make it 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Thank you guys for everybody supporting the channel, coming through. This ICE facility thing, I think it's they starting to have more information about it. They didn't really have a lot when I first went there, but yeah, salute, man. See you guys in a couple hours, man. Peace out.